Get this started. So, easiest question today. Can you tell me your first and last name and how to spell it, as well as your title?
Yes, it's Ben M. Rose, Rose, is the last name. And I am a principal with the Rose Firm, all one word, capital F, comma PLLC. And I am a statewide law firm based in Brentwood, but I have practice that spreads from Mountain City to Memphis, quite literally.
All right. So, first of all, there's been a big update today with Miss Smith's case. First of all, could you discuss the update?
Yes, and let me also add that I serve as the pardon counsel for Robin Smith. I've been involved with Robin's criminal case since the FBI raids in 2021, about 3 days from now, January 8th, 2021. And my current role is as her pardon counsel. And yes, your question again, one more time.
Oh, you talk about today. She was supposed to report for prison today, but there was been an update in the case.
Yes, we received this afternoon an amended judgment from the district court in Nashville, and the amended judgment indicated that Robin's prison term of 8 months in West Virginia had been amended to include a 1 year probation, monitored probation, and also no fine. She originally had a $7,500 fine that she was required to pay, and that's also been amended. And certainly that is very good news for Robin. She's very appreciative of so many folks throughout not only the state of Tennessee, but across the country that have supported her. And she's very appreciative for all their prayers and their help through this process. Very appreciative.
And you talk about a little bit about what prompted this motion, because from what I gathered is the two other main culprits in this case were pardoned, and that's what really sparked this motion to get her sentence changed.
Yeah, I want to be careful about commenting on motions filed in active litigation. I consider the case now completed now that we have an amended judgment with probation. But I can tell you our general position was after the pardons of her alleged co-conspirators, Robin was placed in a very unfortunate position of being a person that admitted her mistake, did everything her government asked, and then was going to be the only one faced with paying a significant fine and serving federal prison time. And so our position, generally speaking, was that that was unfair and inequitable. And ultimately, that's why we're continuing to emphasize the need for presidential pardon, as we've done from really before her sentencing, but certainly after her sentencing in late October. That was more of an earnest effort, and that continues to this day.
Oh, gotcha. And you touched on it a little bit. My next question is, even though she's just only on probation now, the pardon effort's still in effect, and your guys are still working towards getting her that presidential pardon.
That's correct, absolutely. And I think actually what happened today is helpful to that effort because as opposed to making a pardon consideration for someone sentenced to federal jail now, or federal prison, I should say, Robin is facing probation. And of course, she's still a convicted felon. She has a restitution amount, a significant amount of money that was paid for purposes of this process that I believe she would get back if she was pardoned. So we actually think that what happened today only enhances the prospects for presidential pardon, and we're going to continue in those efforts.
Exactly. You say even though she isn't facing jail time now, she's still a felon because of this, and the presidential pardon will get rid of that.
That's
So
correct.
going forward for you, Miss Smith's team, what are the next steps for her now, given that she's no longer facing jail time?
Well, after the relief of hearing this news today and thanking everyone for their prayers and support, which she's actively doing and that I do now, we're continuing our efforts. In fact, it was all weekend. We have been communicating with various members of the administration related to the pardon, and we'll continue to do that. We've been really encouraged by people not only in the Republican Party but also Democrats who are in favor of her being pardoned in light of the alleged co-conspirators also being pardoned. And I think ultimately that's what Robin wants out of this process is that she gets treated at least as well as the other co-defendants.
Exactly. And you talked about it a little bit earlier, but Oh, you talked about a little bit earlier about her the process going through this. Can you talk to the residents at home who don't exactly understand the process that goes into a big federal case like this, just the inner workings of how we got to this point, just for some people at home who may not understand how it works.
Well, it's something that obviously no one would wish upon their worst enemy, particularly here, because you have to remember you had COVID. You had another criminal proceeding that had to go and be completed before Robin's proceeding. That went complete through a full jury trial for 4 weeks. It was 5 years up until today, and of course she's got a probationary period, but 5 years of really a prison sentence in and of itself. You're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars in legal fees, not knowing your future because she couldn't be sentenced until the end of the process, and all that stress and everything. And of course, we don't want to focus on the past, but very difficult process, and in and of itself, its own punishment. What we're looking forward to now is thanking everyone for all their help and their prayers, and looking forward to a presidential pardon.
And moving forward, what does probation look like for Smith? What are the parameters that have been set for her under this agreement?
Well, there's a document that you can, and I can send it to you if you want. But the amended judgment in and of itself has the basic terms, and I'll let you look at that. I mean, it's pretty standard as I understand it in the system in terms of what she has to do. She's not treated any different than anyone else, but she's looking forward to complying with all those procedures. She's already reached out to her parole officer and gone through that beginning process, and I have no doubt that she's going to comply with the terms of probation.
Perfect. And lastly, is there anything you want to tell the residents watching at home about this case or about or on Miss Smith's behalf to just people watching at home?
I do. I want to tell them that this was an important process, a lengthy process, but it's important to trust the process. And I think a lot of people in the world can get discouraged about lawyers and criminal procedure and things like that, and get lost in all that. Most of my cases, 95%, 98% of the time, the person who is entitled to equity or justice or relief, they get it. And I think in this way, through this process, through the amended judgment, there has been some justice here. We need more in terms of the presidential pardon, but I think it's a testament to if you just stick to it, and you tell the truth and trust the process will yield the results that you're entitled to. And I would encourage everybody, no matter civil or criminal case that you're involved in, trust the process. It's still worth going through and being upheld and honored. And that's what I hope we've done today.
Also, and lastly, what would be your response to some residents who say that if sh to when someone allegedly commits a crime like this, they should face prison time regardless of anyone else not facing the consequences?
Yeah, and I hear that occasionally from folks that, particularly ones who don't know the case very well or haven't followed it. I mean, if you just look at the headlines and other politicians that's indicted, or in this case, she specifically pled to one count of a federal crime. I think here you have to be careful, right? Because it's pretty clear to me, and I've been involved since the very beginning, that had she not cooperated, you wouldn't have gotten any justice at all, regardless of pardons or the process that plays out after the trial. So, what we don't want for someone to recognize their mistakes, to cooperate with the government, and be really important to the process of getting other convictions and then punishing them. Um, they can have criticisms maybe of the other defendants, so that I'll leave that up to them. But I think here, when you've got a government cooperator, the government wants to encourage future cooperators because the system needs that cooperation and that process in order for it to work. And so I would just be careful about how quick you judge, particularly now in this new year that's coming up, and trust the process because it's worth trusting.
Thank you so much for your time, my friend. I know you've had a busy day today.
Yes, no problem. And let me know if you need anything else. I've got a quote from Robin too that I can send to you.
Oh, that'd be
If
lovely.
you're interested in that. And I mean, it's basically it thanks, her supporters. It's not terribly substantive, but you might want to include it in your reporting. Okay.
If you could email me that, that'd be lovely.
Be happy to.